Greetings, humans. This is Michael Herrick with HIPAA for Humans, realistic cybersecurity advice for healthcare. Multi-factor authentication is a big priority, and it's something that we always recommend for all healthcare organizations. We recommend multi-factor authentication on all internet accessible systems. So this includes things like your email systems on any cloud services that you use, maybe a cloud EHR software that you use, but it also very much applies to internet access through your company VPN. Many healthcare organizations have VPN access to support their remote workers. People working from home have to make a VPN connection to the office network, and once they've got that established, then they can access the EHR or other software or files that's installed on that local office network. And so getting multi-factor authentication on your VPN is very important. It's a critical system that needs to be protected in that way. And this actually creates a lot of hurdles for a lot of organizations. And we see a lot of people really struggling to make this happen, largely because firewalls and VPNs are kind of a old established technology, and most of our systems were built before multi-factor authentication really became a thing, before there was real awareness around the need for multi-factor authentication. So it can be sometimes difficult to engineer that onto some of the older hardware and software that we use for our VPNs. But here's the funny thing. Sometimes people get really worried about this, and they think they have to make major upgrades and get complicated systems installed to get multi-factor working on their VPNs. But when we do risk assessments for our healthcare clients, it's not uncommon that we discover that they actually already have multi-factor authentication on their VPN without even realizing it. And when we do a risk assessment and we find that out, we can save them a lot of money, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, save them money on showing them that an upgrade is actually unnecessary because they've actually got a good multi-factor implementation already in place. And the reason is because a lot of people configure their VPNs and set up their VPNs so that they authenticate with a password that the user enters, but also by enrolling the workstation with a cryptographic certificate or with a shared secret installed on that workstation. And when you set up your VPN in that way, that shared secret or that cryptographic certificate actually serves as the second factor of authentication. A shared secret or certificate installed on the computer is not something that the user knows. It is something that the user has. It is a second factor. It's not something the user knows. It's not something that the user could accidentally expose in a phishing attack, for example. It doesn't mean that that certificate is 100% secure and 100% safe. You have to take steps to protect it and so on. But it is something you have. It is a second factor of authentication. A lot of people don't believe me when we talk about this during a risk assessment. We always refer them to the NIST documentation, the National Institute of Standards and Technology. There's a great document, NIST 863B, Digital Identity Guidelines. And when you dig into that document, I can show you exactly where in that document it explains that these shared secrets, these certificates are valid authenticators that can be used as a second factor in a multi-factor authentication system on your VPN. It really can be done. Don't let anybody tell you that that's not true two-factor authentication. It is true two-factor authentication according to NIST and according to us as well. So when we do your risk assessment, we might be able to give you the good news that you do in fact have multi-factor authentication on your VPN. We can give you some tips for firming it up and protecting it and making that implementation as strong as it can be and save you from a major upgrade to your firewall software. I'm Michael Herrick at Matterform. Please join me here every Tuesday for more HIPAA for Humans.